Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order.
And I'll make a motion that we recess the meeting and enter executive session as provided in Vermont Statute Title 1, Chapter 5, Subsection 2, 313A, Number 3, Personnel Matter.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're in executive session now. Okay,
All right, I'll make a motion that we close executive session and resume the meeting.
Second it.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and we have no decision coming out of our executive session. Let's see, so we have the minutes of May 3rd.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of May 3rd.
Second it.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have warrants 23, the payroll 23P, ratified 23R, and the Conservation Commission number 3.
I'll make a motion that we approve for payment warrants 23, 23P, 23R, and Conservation Commission 3.
I'll second those.
Okay, any discussion? Warrant 23 is for a total of $18,965.15, and that was going to fuel, health insurance, our rescue, monthly payment, highway department repairs, and other sundries. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Let's see. Let's see. For the town office, we approved work to be done by Farnum to remove old insulation and clean it up and put in new. And they needed deposit. We have to authorize the deposit payment of just over $8,000. What would you like to do?
So I'll make a motion that we authorize the deposit payment to Farnum Insulators from the ARPA funds for a total of $8,483.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have no visitors right now, so we could go right into the road foreman's report.
Okay. Alright, so the curb cut on Beaver Pond Road, I don't know, it's at the very top where it splits and goes to Hopkins Road. And that is good, that should be in there.
It is.
There.
And you're good with,
Yeah, it slopes down right from the road, everything's good with it.
okay,
It's a good location.
all right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the curb cut permit for 615 Beaver Pond Road.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
I didn't read it. What, in a nutshell, what is it?
Some of those have more that we have to add to them, but this one was really a location.
So it's a subdivision and creating a new property.
Yes.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Let's see, just one signature. Okay, let's see. The paving bids.
Yes. So, Allstate is the least amount of money, and they've done quite a bit of work for us in the past, and it's all been fine. When you figure out the milling is a little more for Allstate, or yes, than Basin. But when you total it all up, it's about $3,000 less for it. So pretty close, Allstate. So that would be my recommendation.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we award the paving bid to Allstate Construction.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion?
I have a question just in general for my own education. Are we required to take low bid or are there other considerations we can evaluate?
We don't have to do the lowest bid. We can take other considerations into.
And it looked like those two bids were pretty close and then there was one that was considerably higher, is that right?
Yes. Yep. So Basin got it last year, and I'm sure it was fairly close then, I'm not positive, but it's usually pretty close. So it's, all right, whatever needs work a little more.
And both companies have been good in the past?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, please with both of them.
Okay.
No further
Okay.
discussion.
Well, then, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. You'll let them know?
Yes.
Great. Okay.
The roof at the highway department, I don't know if you actually got the price for that in your folder. I think I made a copy.
Yeah, here's a copy for $15,730.
Yes, and what this is the rubber membrane on the roof at the drip edge is peeling off. And in doing so, it rotted the wood underneath. There's not a lot of wood there, it's just some 2x. So what they're looking to do is replace that wood, fix the edge, fix any joints that are bad. They did say in there, I asked them for a prediction on when the roof should be replaced. Because it is, I think he wrote it in there, it's about 30 years old now. He thought around 5 years. I did meet with another roofing company up there. They thought the roof looked good except for the drip edge. A few seams that need a little work, but. And they were gonna get back a proposal. That was Walker, down the Old Ferry Road, Walker Roofing. And then Johansson and Sons, I'm not saying that right, but they're gonna come and look at it and give a price. I told them that it's probably gonna have to go out to bid, but I'm just getting their opinions and, how we actually wanna write it up to go out to bid, to get quotes from everyone the same way, being over $10,000. If somebody's under $10,000, I was gonna bring it to you, and if it seems like they're doing all the work needed, then I think we wouldn't need to go out to bid unless you would like to. I'm just not sure.
Okay, so there'll be more information coming on this.
Yeah, and the last one's not till the end of the month, the meeting there. So it's gonna drag on, and I would say, July, June. Hopefully we can get it out to bid and get it back, and then they can get it taken care of before winter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this also says that the chimney needs attention as soon as
Yes,
possible.
and the second person I talked with, he said he would just wait. I went up there with him and, I went up there and walked around with him, and he was saying that he would wait until he'd just patch it up for now and wait until the roof was gonna get replaced and do it as a big project. He didn't think he could find a mason now anyways, to get it done before winter or at their time schedule, so. And looking at it.
And it would be all right to replace the rubber membrane and then do chimney work?
Well, where they're gonna replace right now, they're gonna end up having to tear up all the new work, this work that they're doing, besides the woodwork. They'll be able to reuse that. But, when they go to put the new roof on, they'll have to do it, the complete thing.
Right, but what I'm saying is that then if we have a brand new membrane on the garage roof,
Yeah.
then we're gonna have the chimney
No.
tore apart?
No, it'd be done, we'd hire a contractor who works with, that company.
With the, whichever
That-
roofer we
right,
decide?
who they
Okay.
prefer.
Okay,
And so they would, do it all, as one,
As
as
one.
one job,
Right.
hopefully.
okay,
And take care of the chimney, put the new roof on.
right,
But the thing is it doesn't, and even this contractor, Walker, didn't think, that we had to run out and put a new membrane on right now.
Mhm.
His idea, which I liked, is cut off the last, just say 4 feet up from the drip edge, make a straight cut all the way across it, replace any wet insulation, and then it's got I think it's like a foam board underneath the rubber membrane. Replace the wood where needed, or replace it all, because they didn't use pressure treated the first time, or that's what he thinks, and that's kind of what I think. And then at least the woodwork will be done, so when the new roof comes on. Yeah, I think the only other real, if we wanted to try to save that 7,000 or 8,000, what we're gonna lose, for this 4 or 5 years, is to do the whole roof. And do it all at once. I just don't know if there's a contractor who can do it this year or not with the chimney. But, and I asked them to put, just a guesstimate on what a roof would cost, because I have no idea on that. But I didn't see one. And I asked the other 2 contractors for the same thing, so I'm hoping one of them will give us a kind of a ballpark where it might cost.
okay, yeah, because this is just the area on the drip edge.
Yeah, and then it says, patch some seams up.
Yeah,
And I really didn't see really any issues with the seams, but they could probably find a few, but.
We'll have more information coming on that.
Yes. Yeah.
that sounds like a good project for ARPA funds.
Yeah.
Right, it's just, I'm not sure on setting it aside or how you want to do that, as far as, how you.
Probably wait until you get
More
other,
information.
more information, yep.
Alright. And then, I did receive an email on the Middle Road corner, and I know Zeke saw it, I think everyone else did. And they went down and painted it again on Friday when I was out of town, but, the edge hasn't, gotten any worse. I think cars cutting the corner, or trucks, or whoever, they met there. It happens a lot in this town. And you see with the yellow lines are all wore off on the corners. And so, I did call the state, and talked with not Mark down there, but, the person in charge of, like, the shop and the guys and other people. And he was suggesting painting, I asked him about painting one of the lines, moving the lines more towards the outside where I think they belong, repainting the fog line on the inside of the corner, and going with that. I asked him about band rail there because they really can't get the right spans for band rail because they have to span the pipe. They can't put a post right in the middle, and they were having a hard time thinking of how to do it last year when we got prices or the year before. And he thought it would narrow it up. People would be taking out the band rail all the time, and then instead of you'd be smashing. You'd be hitting the band rail. people would be hitting it.
Is band rail guardrail?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And which curve are we talking about?
Just before Holton Road,
It's-
coming in from this
yes,
direction.
Right,
But you're
place?
between Tucker Reed Road and North Hollow.
Yeah, it's always been an issue. We've had accidents there, but usually, or I don't know if I've ever seen one off on the inside of the corner. They usually are going south or east and they just don't make the corner.
Yep.
And they go off. I do know when I go around that corner, I'm ready to stop because you do meet people coming, and I just soon stop, and if they hit me, then I guess I know I don't want to drive off that inside edge either.
And that culvert isn't slated to be redone for a while, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's it would be 50 years out.
How many years?
50.
Is one of the issues a big drop off at the edge where a car, if it went off the edge, would roll over? Or
Yes, they do on both sides, really. It's steep enough that, yes, they would. There are a few small markers. We've put posts in there occasionally, and they, it's amazing. You can almost, how long it'll actually last type of thing. And you know, if we added on to that culvert, which would be we're talking expensive jobs. You know, at 80,000-ish probably or something like that. You know, the people, I hate to say it, but they tend to just, you would even drift in more. And then anytime you make it wider, you know, people tend to go faster around it or try to.
and we've got a sign showing that there's a curve and drops down to 25 or something.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it drops down to,
So-
but yeah, it's somewhere in there. So I think it's marked. I think it's keeping people on their own side of the road. I think is one of the big issues. So I really don't have anything besides moving that yellow line out and putting the fog line down again. And I need to put it on the calendar or something like every spring, do the fog line.
So where the asphalt is crumbling,
Yeah, it's just settling. It's I wouldn't call it really, well, you know, crumbling to me is falling off, which I drive around that.
okay, so I'd say crumbling but staying in place
Yeah, okay.
on a lower level.
All right, yes. When we take in mill, the mill takes out those kind of things. If we cut it out, we'd have a hard time trying to get it to bond back, you know, being only, say, 3 feet wide.
Okay, so is the gravel or the road bed under that, is that eroding or?
No.
No.
No, I mean, it does give that appearance, but when you get down there, you know, the road is on top of the culvert, but barely, I mean, it's right to the edge of it. Out further is not.
And that's a metal culvert, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have there been any studies showing that adding rumble strips at the yellow, the ground rumble strips, not raised ones,
Yeah.
at the yellow lines prevent people from crossing over?
Oh, I think they do, or, you know, as far as my own experience, and I think that's, you know, if I was gonna, I wasn't in favor of those when they first came out, because, like, I think it was Route 9, or you know, they just, it worked on the pavement, you know, anytime you get a puddle and somebody drives in a puddle, it breaks up the pavement or dirt or gravel. I think they're doing better at that, you know? I don't know I've never seen them made or anything like that, but, so that is, if there was any one corner, I think that's the corner.
It sounds like that's the only kind of quote fix that could be done
Right.
easily. I have no
Yeah.
idea what the
Yeah.
cost is. I assume you
Right.
need to hire someone with that specialized grinding equipment.
Yeah, I could check on that.
I've seen it done on other roads.
I think you'd have to do it quite a ways in both directions, because if you do it just on the corner, by the time you're in the corner.
Right.
It's
People
somebody's-
sometimes are over.
You already
All right,
straddled.
straddle
so
it,
you'd have to go
Yes.
really both directions.
Yes.
Quite a ways with it though.
And the problem they had on Route 9 going towards Keene was they put them in and didn't ask anybody.
Oh yeah,
neighbors.
neighbors complained. I read about
Yeah, and
that.
I understand that too. So I do know there's one person, maybe two, that they might affect.
Those
No.
strips were at the edge.
Yeah, I think they put them everywhere.
Okay.
Didn't they put them down the middle too there? But those are the ones they removed, the
Oh.
edge ones.
Yeah.
Because people just couldn't stay in between them. Yes. So if you want, we can research that. Definitely for the next time we pave, which, 3 years, if we do it afterwards or if we do it before,
Yeah,
I think it's worth looking into, that kind of fix.
Other than that, I don't know if you had anything.
anything else? Not that I have.
I think that's it.
How's the boiler coming?
Good, they poured the pad today, or a couple of guys. And it's scheduled for, I think, 2 weeks. He didn't actually give a date. He said the next 2 weeks he's full, and then after that. So it's in stock. It's ready to go down.
Okay.
Lee, I heard from Geraldine that when she started on the select board, you gave her kind of a tour of roads, or maybe it was
Yep.
problem roads.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't mind something
Yeah,
like
I'd
that,
like to do that.
whenever.
Yep.
Maybe we could schedule that when we have some new members.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, the list in the town report or I think I've given it to you sometimes, but that structures, for the priorities. I think, that's, I don't wanna say that's the big money items, but that and the gravel pit. Or pits. Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's always been an instructive tour. Okay. Great. Any other? Okay. All right. Thanks, Lee. Okay. Is there anything under correspondence for information you'd like to discuss?
Is this where the native plant trust comes up, or is that?
It's next.
Yep.
It's in the next section.
Yeah, okay. So, if we move on, correspondence for discussion and/or action, the Native Plant Trust would like to harvest seeds of bluets on the town common. And I met with her and David Baxendale last Wednesday, and the most concentrated section of bluets is actually on that strip of land just east of the parking lot, or abutting the parking lot. There's an oak tree with a plaque, and the ground is covered with bluets. So if we approve this, then Brett is going to refrain from mowing that until the seed harvest, which is, I guess, early in June.
And then it wouldn't affect the green,
No, the
Right.
actual common
the common, yeah.
wouldn't be a problem at all. And bluets are rather resilient, and so even a little foot traffic's not going to hurt them. Let's see. And given that the Grange had sent in a request to use the common on the 30th, this moving this bluet
Yeah.
seed harvest over seems good.
Yeah,
So we could have a motion to officially allow this.
I move that we allow the bluet seed harvest by the Native Plant Trust.
I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'll let her know that she's got the official okay. And let's see. Okay. Moving on, we got a letter asking the town to pay for a appraisal of some property on Middle Road. Do you know the number of that? It's
By Middle Road Pond, though.
That's right.
Yeah, by the Middle Road Pond. It's a long, narrow property. And this person wanted us to get an appraisal so we could purchase the land for the town. They were concerned the person might log it, and so.
There was a group of neighbors that,
Right.
my feeling is that it's private property. And if there is a group of neighbors that are so inclined, that I don't think it's up to us to find an appraisal, and I don't think the town needs to own more property.
Okay.
Yeah, if it had extraordinary ecological value or recreational value, I might be more open to it, but, I think it's a neighbor issue.
Yes,
May I ask a comment?
yes.
There are some significant natural values on that property, I believe, although they need to be further documented. It is in a conservation zone by the town plan, most of it anyway. And I understand that the Conservation Commission has had some very preliminary discussions on it, and I would hope that the town would designate or back the Conservation Commission in exploration and any appropriate action. I agree that it would be premature just to go out and get an appraisal.
Okay.
Have we received communication from the Conservation
No.
Commission?
No.
And I think they're just starting to talk about it.
Okay. Great. So the land is for sale, and so someone might buy it. I guess it's just under 70 acres, and I think the asking price is
A lot.
$345,000.
Something like that.
Yeah, in the ballpark. Okay. Okay, I don't think we have that in our budget right now, but let's wait for the Conservation Commission to take this. Anything else on that? Okey doke. Let's see. So, VLCT, the PACIF report on the Historical Society and Community Center buildings. There was a inspection by Wade Masur, and he made recommendations. They're generally low priority items, but they
And
dealt
fairly
with
easy.
fire alarms and
Right.
that sort of thing. And so I guess we should just, I thought we already gave that report to?
Yes.
Yes, I thought the Historical Society
Yeah.
received
Yeah,
it.
we have not purchased yet the extinguishers. We will do that. And we have a plan for replacing the rail too, so that it's more appropriate for people to grasp it, a rounded rail as opposed to a 2x4 beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will get that done fairly soon.
Okay. They haven't turned up the heat too much, but
Well, we can turn it up if anybody wants it up for a degree or two.
it's on.
Do you want it up?
No, I was talking about.
Oh, I got it. I got it. The insurance company.
Yeah.
Sorry, slow here.
Yeah. So, if you can let us know when those are done, and then we can let the insurance company know, and they'll stop breathing down our necks.
And I mean, the community center, I thought, had gotten it as well, so.
Yeah. I think I forwarded it to them
I
again.
thought that you did.
Yeah.
So I
So,
think we just have to maybe follow up with them and.
yep.
Okay.
Gently nudge
Yes.
them in that direction. Okay. Okay, let's see, under new business. Okay, so there's a request for $5,550 for the Deerfield Valley Fiber. And they made this request a while ago, and we're just bringing it up.
It doesn't have to do with the Energy Committee, does it?
Yeah, I don't,
The Energy Committee requested it.
No, I thought DVFiber was a separate entity, isn't it?
it might have been
No,
Eric.
it was
Eric's the same
Eric's-
person, but he's,
He was doing
Our
it as the
appointee.
DC, DV
Yeah.
representative and not the
Not the
Energy
Energy
Committee.
Committee.
Okay.
I think that the ARPA funds, we've been trying to find things that would, or do projects that would impact the most amount of people and reduce our tax burden. I don't think this helps too few, it's too individualized. In other words, I think if I remember reading it correctly, it was only going to affect 7 to 10 households, something like that. And I just don't think that would be fair to other taxpayers in town if we allocated funds that helped individuals like that. The other projects that we're doing, such as like the roof on the highway, that has more of an impact for more people in town. That's my thought.
yeah, being new to the board, I'm not fully up to speed on the history of DVFiber, but that's an entity that's been trying to bring internet to sort of the last houses or more remote houses. And they've been meeting for a while, right, on behalf of the town. And this, when I read it, it seemed like it was a reasonable request. Was there much discussion about it? I mean, a detail about it?
No.
Could we request more detail?
He sent a pretty detailed, did you?
He did. I guess I must have read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was actually to make, what I thought it was to make the final connection to individual homes. And I don't know, I feel like the ARPA funds should be projects that affect all the residents somehow. We'd be picking just in, 7 to 10 homes that need to be hooked up to broadband, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a fair way to spend the ARPA money to help just a select few.
Yes.
In the application, did it say how much it costs to be hooked up per home?
I thought it was something like $400. That's what I recall.
And would there be criteria in terms of who you pay for, or is it just anybody that asks?
It's whoever DVFiber picks, so we would have no control over it.
Thank you.
I'm sort of on the fence, but I keep seeing, new money coming for, and new initiatives to get service to from last mile. So I'm wondering if there might be other
Other
sources for this.
I guess I would recommend tabling this, and I'd like to do a little more digging into it, maybe talk to Eric.
Okay.
Can I ask another question just about
Sure.
ARPA updates?
Yep.
And I should have asked this before Charlotte or in the office. Is there still a running total in terms of how much has been given to ARPA and how much is remaining?
Yes,
Could that be accessible somehow?
sure.
And maybe even at the next select board meeting, state it and have it in the minutes so that we can kind of do a running total? Thank you.
The challenge is that Terry kept track of that,
I know
and
it.
she's
I
no
know.
longer.
But you still need to have
Yes,
that
we
information.
yeah.
We've got that info.
I actually did the worksheet.
So we're
Thank
good.
you.
We're good. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Select board appointments. David Baxendale is retiring from the select board as of June 1st, and we have the seat that Terry Chapman left. I thought we could go ahead and appoint Louis White and Todd Davidson in one fell swoop to begin on June 1st, but I'm told by parliamentarians in town that we have to post David Baxendale's opening first.
So we have to do them one at a time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I move that we appoint Todd Davidson to replace Terry, to serve in Terry Chapman's slot.
Okay. Let's see, we could do that. We're a 3-member board right now. We would have, if we become a,
We're still a 4-member board till
yeah,
June
except
1st.
David's not here, yeah.
Right.
I would think, let's see, I think both people are qualified and good candidates, actually, that will be able to broaden the scope of our board. Putting them both on one vote was an elegant solution, I thought. I don't want to complicate, the vote for the second situation by, it's sort of like the Supreme Court. I don't want to tip the scale one way or the other. And so, yes,
There's been no second to the motion.
right.
So
I'm
why are you having
prevocating. I'm
discussion?
prevocating here. Oh, right. I should be. I should have a second so we could discuss this. I am going on, aren't I?
Yes.
Huh. Okay. Well, or we can let it die for lack of a second, and then have some more discussion. Okay. All right. So we don't have a second yet. So let's discuss this some more. I'd like to see both people get voted on. Are we in agreement on
I'm in
that?
agreement on that.
Okay, then.
And my reasoning on bringing Todd on is, first, there'll be month or two when only one of them is able to be on, right? Given
Well, I
that-
think it'd just be 2 weeks, but,
The next meeting would be the 28th, the 31st.
yeah,
And his resignation
This
is
is
not
the next
effective
day.
till June 1st.
yes, we could make an appointment then for it to take place on June 1st. But we could go ahead and nominate and do one seat.
You know, what I was, you know, I don't know Todd. I mean, I met him at our last meeting, but my sense is he's very connected electronically and savvy, much more savvy than
If I have the sense that we're going to put both of these people on, then I don't care which order we go in. So I would be amenable to making a second on another, if you want to nominate again.
there were a couple of questions or comments.
I have a comment. So
Yes.
Todd is our secretary for the Conservation Commission. And he does an amazing job.
Aha,
So, and when we get the minutes each month, they are incredibly accurate. He sits in the meeting room and he's just so good at what he does. He's a really good listener. So I just think he's fabulous, actually.
okay.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Lewis White this time around.
Oh boy, who's in the middle here?
There was another comment.
Well, I'd like to
Yeah.
speak for Lewis.
Okay.
Lewis was on the select board when I was earlier in my treasurer days, and he was one of the board members who consistently came by to find out what was going on in the town office. He consistently gave feedback and asked for feedback. Did we have issues? Did we need anything in the town office? He also stepped up during that storm where Lee was gone. He spent basically 48 hours straight running the roads, putting up signs. He came in and helped me with all the paperwork that I had to do for FEMA. It was our first big FEMA thing, so it wasn't perfect, but we muddled through and we had pictures and we had all the information we needed. And if he hadn't stepped up to do that and Lee was gone, we wouldn't have had any of that stuff. We wouldn't have, who knows what sort of funding we would have gotten back. And that needs to be recognized.
Okay. Any other comments? Yes.
Just that Todd hasn't been given a chance to do that. I mean, he might step up to the plate and do that. Lewis was on the board and that's when he did that.
No, he wasn't on the
No.
board when he did
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry, I misunderstood.
He had been on the board. He was
Oh.
no longer on the board when he did that. He was a very part-time highway person that
Gotcha.
stepped up and worked for Lee because Lee was gone. And it was amazing to have that.
So I'd like to see both people appointed to the board. I don't care which way we go. If we do Lewis today, I want to do Todd at our next meeting. So,
Is there a way that we could vote on that?
no. That's a fine question. If I could pass the buck to you, I'd do it right now. Okay, so we've got a, okay, I'll second that. Any more discussion? Or opening discussion? I'll vote in favor of this tonight, knowing that we'll vote for Todd at our next meeting.
And we hope that he'll accept it.
Yes, I
Vote it
hope
down
you will.
twice.
Okay. Any thoughts that he won't? I think he's still interested. When I last spoke with him, he was still interested.
I just know Todd's interested.
Excuse me?
I just know Todd's incredibly interested.
Yeah,
So that's why I don't know.
yeah, I think he'd be a great member. Okay, we've got Lewis nominated. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Could you let Lewis know? And I'll speak to Todd and let him know that he's in.
Excuse me, Zeke? Could you speak up some more?
Oh, yes.
Thanks.
Do you want to move up to the
No, I
front
don't
row?
want to sit up in front of you, but I'll sit back here in front of you.
Okay, well, I'll write you, if I keep mumbling, I'll write you a little note and pass it back to you. Okay,
But you're very soft-spoken.
yes, I am. You point that out generally at most of the meetings. That's why they put the microphone in front of me now. Okay, let's see.
So we need to ask Lori to post
Right. Post,
the open
David's
seat.
open,
David's
yes.
seat.
okay,
Do you want me to ask her to do that?
yes, please. And we'll have, on our next
And-
agenda, we'll have,
Right, and then, so technically, if anybody's interested, do we want, rather than making it the day of our meeting, do you wanna say that they should let us know by Monday, what would that be, the 29th?
great, we've had an opening for several weeks now, and not had a rush to the town office. Okay, so we've been meeting here for a couple of years now, is that? Because it gave us more spacious accommodations. But we were thinking of moving back to the town office and maybe even the historical society if we have anticipate a big crowd.
I'll make a motion that we move our meetings back to the town office, effective with our next meeting on the 31st.
Okay, I'll second that.
I guess I'd be interested in hearing from people here whether having a large open space makes a difference. I know the town office, I'm not as familiar with the Historical Society space, but it feels more closed in relative to COVID. Is there a preference?
I like the spacious accommodations here. I feel like we're in a sardine can in the town office.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the seat of government and power here in Dummerston. And we've been here for a couple of years. Yes, Jody Normando.
Yeah, the Historical Society can hold quite a few people. We've had 40-something plus 50 people in there. And so you don't generally get that because I used to come to a lot of the select board meetings. And we don't usually have a crowd like this. I mean, you need to have a bigger space if you're gonna get what we're gonna get tonight, but, and the Historical Society has always said you're welcome, so.
Right, and we've used the Grange on occasion
Yeah.
there, so we do have, and we can always come back here for a special meeting.
And it's more central for more people. I mean, for me, it will be a longer walk, but I
Well,
can accept that sacrifice.
We'll have to warn our meetings a little earlier, so give you enough time. Okay, so we've got a motion.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
So how are you going to know in advance to tell people to go to the town office versus the historical society?
If we have like a special meeting or something, we'll meet at the Historical Society. If we start a meeting and the place becomes packed, we'll say we're going to recess this meeting and reconvene over at the Historical Society. And, one of us will climb through the window and open the door and, we'll process over to the Historical Society. So that's how I would anticipate we'd handle that. Maybe if we have a sub-item on the agenda that's of special concern to the residents of West Street or West Dummerston, we would plan to meet over here. So we can be models of flexibility. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. I'll see you
Yep.
there. Okay, let's see, what else is going on here? We have the Municipal Energy Resilience Program grant, and David was the lead person on that, and I think he was going to talk with you.
I thought he was gonna send something in advance of this meeting, which I didn't get, didn't see.
Should we table it till the next
Yeah,
meeting?
let's table that. Okay, and let's see. Okay, we have the Windham County Humane Society contract for the next year. And I think it's one of these signed here. Yes, right here. And it looked to me like, pretty much like the contract we've been signing for the last several years. There's a flat fee of $586 for the services they provide.
I'll make a motion that we sign the Windham County Humane Society contract for $586.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Any thoughts? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. Okay, so that needs to be signed. Okay, we have a request from the listers for a grand list extension request. This is they usually give this to us about this time of year, and it's just in case they need an extension. They usually get everything done in time.
I'll make a motion that we sign the grand list filing extension as requested by the listers.
Second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that just needs one signature. All right, and, okay, here's the fun part of the program.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we recess the meeting and convene as the Liquor Control Board.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, here we are, the Liquor Control Board. Okay, and we have several dates requested by the Scott Farm for June 14th, July 12th, August 9th, August 13th, August 19th, August 26th, September 20th, and October 8th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the liquor catering special event permit request for events at the Scott Farm on 6/14, 7/12, 8/9, 8/13, 8/19, 8/26, 9/20, and 10/8.
I'm on the Scott Farm Board and Scott Farm Advisory Committee, so I'm gonna recuse myself from that vote.
I usually abstain on these ones.
Abstain.
I abstain,
Oh, you abstain.
yeah, so you might want to.
Okay. I'll report this conflict of interest, but under policies, I don't need to recuse myself, so I rescind that
Okay.
recusing. And I second it. Second the motion.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I will abstain.
So I'll make a motion that we adjourn as the Liquor Control Board and reconvene the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Here we are, back as the select board. And what time does that, there's some glare?
12 minutes of 7.
12 minutes, wow. Okay, so we have adjourned our select board meeting. And next,
No, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
okay.
Well, are there any questions or comments for the board?
Yes,
I wasn't here earlier. Did you and Lee talk about those bad corners because somebody's going to get killed.
Yes, we did.
Me or my
We had
granddaughter.
extensive discussion about it.
Because just moving the lines isn't gonna work.
Okay, we did discuss it.
Did
Yes?
that come to the select board, Zeke, or was that just conversation between you and Lee?
No, it was on the select board, and if you'll see in the
Sorry?
minutes, and you'll see on the BCTV.
One of the action items coming out of that discussion, Lee is going to look into grinding rumble strips at the yellow lines to, we don't know how feasible that would be on that road, but he's going to look into that as a possible fix.
It seems to be getting worse now with the traffic that's getting diverted from Route 30. And a lot of the people, I think, that are using that road don't appreciate that corner. And they kind of wave over, they just kind of slide over the center line.
Because it's getting a lot of extra use, I wonder if the state would step in and help out on adding that safety measure. They've been pretty accommodating from what I've heard through the retreat farm when there are problems with the paving in front of the retreat farm.
In both my family's instances, they were large trucks or large trucks pulling large trailers. So it's not just cars. And if you go down there and look, and maybe Lee and you have looked, but on both sides of it, you can see where the tracks go, and they go off the pavement,
Yeah,
both directions.
yeah. Okay. We came prepared to have a special town meeting to vote on the,
We need to vote on
what?
adjourning our regular meeting.
What? We haven't adjourned yet?
No.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay.